Yes, people. Welcome to LFC Red Forever channel. Hopefully you can hear me because I don't know what is going on with my headphones. We're going to be obviously talking about transfers, the press conference with Jurgen Klopp, and we're going to talk about Endo, the new player for Liverpool Football Club that's been announced today. So let me bring my right hand man, which is Mr. Hale.
Wabi.
What's going on, bro? You good?
Yeah, I'm all good. Sweet.
Yeah, mate. Show after show after show recently, man. So I'm enjoying it, bro. I'm enjoying it. You
Yeah.
know, we'll talk about our football club, and it's one of those things that brings us joy more than anything. As you know, negatives, positives, or whatever, which way we go at the end of the day. So after yesterday's show, you feeling all right for this one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
So we're going to be talking about, obviously, we're going to go over the press conference of Jurgen Klopp. So let's see what he's saying, if there's any transfers coming up. Obviously, he's going to talk about the new player as well. So let's do this. Yes. So let's start with this and see what he's saying, mate, because I'm looking forward to it. I haven't listened to him this season.
Yeah. I've only seen clips myself.
You know, we're going to listen to him and see from obviously what he says, what we put up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We'll share our point of view of it as well. What do you think of the number 3 shirt Endo's got, mate?
8 suits him.
He's got the Fabinho shirt, don't he? Yeah. No, let's do this. Oh, people, please hit the subscription button, notification button, and like button. Obviously, go in the comments as well. And after the actual stream, please go in the comments below. It helps the channel. I'll personally respond to your comments as well. So please do that for us. Thank you. Let's watch this.
So that's up a open then, same as last week, we'll have the breakout next door. Ready?
Yeah, in the past week at various points it's looked like you could have brought in 3 different midfielders, so how does Endo compare to the other 2?
First of all, I'm really happy that we finally can announce we have an agreement with the club and the player, which is really cool. I'm absolutely happy about having Lautaro in now. I am from Germany. I watch a lot of Bundesliga. I know him since he is at Stuttgart. I liked him pretty much from the start. When he started playing there, the little problem with this, I think it's like, if you want, a little bit a late bloomer. And usually for us, for the way our owners see it, he was already too old when he joined Stuttgart. But I obviously have a different view on that, and I said always liked him. Yes, and the last week was obviously a tricky one, no doubt about that. But that's when you have a problem, you can stick to the problem or you find a solution. I'm more than happy to have the solution. And comparing footballing wise, a similar profile, similar position, same position if you want, similar profile. A really good footballer. I think he's 5'10", but probably jumps to the ceiling. It's not too difficult, but jumps to the ceiling. Like, that's good in the air. Really good in general defensive challenges. He loves it. Tactically, really smart, closing down the right gaps and players. Good football on top of that. Big heart, desire. There's a really good package, to be honest. So I'm really happy to have him.
Just on Caicedo and Lavia though, what conversations did you have with them? Was it texts, phone calls, meetings, and is there a sense that you've been left with of feeling let down by them?
There's actually nothing to say about. As long as there's absolutely nothing to say about the transfers. The transfer business is like that. You talk to people, to players, to agents, whatever, clubs, and sometimes it works out and sometimes not. I think that's the general thing how it works out, and there's nothing else to say about. From my point of view, I think all the things will be said in these kind of conversations. When and if you have them, they stay then between me and the specific other part. So nothing to say about that really.
Just on any further activity in the transfer window, are you likely to still be active in the market? And I take it as well, you're not likely to lose any of your key players during this window either, because obviously there's been speculation linking Alisson with interest from Saudi Arabia as well as mine.
The window is open, and until then, pretty much everything can happen. On the outgoing side, from my side, nothing will happen. But I learned in this window a lot of things, so we will see that. Incoming, still time, so let's have a look, and that's what we will do.
Just on
Interesting.
football side of things.
Thank you.
I don't think there was a bigger contrast last season. 9-0 at home, victory, 1-0 away defeat.
Oh, Bournemouth.
What are you expecting this time around against Bournemouth?
Yeah.
Harley, what did you think what he said about the transfers and obviously we might lose some players at the same time as well. What do you think of like what Klopp
He
said about that?
he said as far as it goes on his side, he's not planning on losing any players, which is always nice to hear. Like, I'd be a bit worried if he was turning around and saying, "Yeah, we're going to sell Alisson, we're going to sell Salah, we're going to sell fucking Carol and Caroline." I'd be a bit worried if that was the case, but luckily he's saying, as far as he's concerned, no more outgoings.
Yeah.
Lovely to hear. And in terms of incomings, he's not showing his hand, but he's certainly not ruling anything out. And the thing is with Klopp is usually when he knows we're done, he'll tell us, won't he?
Yeah. I like what Redbird said over there. Like I'm turning Japanese and dining sushi tonight. But carry on, brother. Carry on.
Yeah. So that's what I see it. For me, he's not ruling it out, which is always a good sign. And as if anyone's not seeing, just before we went on air, Fabrizio Romano said we are still in the market for one more midfielder.
Mm-hmm.
So there we go. Actually.
Yeah, but Michael Watson, please
Michael
subscribe and thank you for the information as well. And hit that like button, everybody. He says Liverpool are in the market for one more midfielder of a higher level. Negotiations continue. They may still be a surprise. You never know. It's true. The money we got, you never know, people. You know what I mean? We've got money in our pocket that's burning. So we need to release that, you know what I mean, to something good. And if we get 2 good players out of it, then we've done our summer transfer because everybody's looking for about 3 players, right? So we've got the 3 then, 2 midfielders and a defender. So it could still happen. Listen, don't dwell on the Caicedo and the Lavia train. They're gone. We don't want to know about them. I don't care if they fail. I don't care if they succeed. That's gone. That window is gone. So let's concentrate on the current. You can see Klopp is disappointed that they didn't choose Liverpool. He had high hopes for them, but sometimes you know what? This is how I see it as well, Harley. Sometimes that could be a blessing in disguise, isn't it? That can be. Yeah. So you don't go for players like that. There could be more problems in Chelsea than you think. You know what I mean? They might cause problems if they don't win. If they got, they might have problems with the coaching staff, with the players. Don't forget with Chelsea as well, people. They change coaches every 6 months. We don't know how long.
If they want to take the easy path and they want to go and sign for the money and not for the football and ambition and to work under a world-class manager and world-class players, then as far as I'm concerned, mate, that's their choice. They've made the bed, they're lying it, and we'll see what happens with them. But It's no longer Liverpool's concern or problem. It's no longer
Exactly.
our concern or problem. So
Let's move on.
it is what it is. Maybe it's a
Exactly.
blessing in disguise, as you said, and we'll move on. And we'll
Exactly.
we'll find players who actually want to play for Liverpool Football Club.
That's it.
And we found one already, and hopefully we find some more as well.
30 in the modern day, especially with the nutrition, especially with these new athletes, that's different to the olden day athletes. It's not a bad age. We could get about 3-4 years out of him. That's the
He's
most
only
important
6
thing.
months older than Fabinho.
There you go.
He's only 3 years younger than Henderson, 7 years younger than Milner, who, to be absolutely fair, looked after himself phenomenally, you'd have to say. But I think and this is probably a bit of a cliche, but I think the computer games, such as your FIFAs and your football managers of the world, have maybe convinced some people that, you know, once you're at a certain age, that's it, you're done.
Yeah.
Whereas there's a lot of factors. There's mileage. He's played
Sports science.
He's played significantly less minutes than Fabinho has in professional level. Klopp said about him being a late bloomer. That's a common pattern with Japanese players. A lot of them play in the Japanese league until their early 20s.
Yeah. Yeah, you're 100% right, because when I studied sports science, it's the mileage you cover, the distance you cover, which player goes first, which player goes second. But the most impressive thing about this player is, guys, his injuries are very limited. I think he is in the last, was it 4 years, 5 years, he had like 44 games,
missed
in it,
3
something like
games.
that.
He's missed 3 games in his entire time at Stuttgart, I believe the statistic is.
There you go, bro. There you go. So let's get back to what the Bournemouth game he's talking about next. Then we discuss the transfer of Doucouré and obviously Endo as well. Keep the comments coming, please, and please hit that like and subscription button, because it helps us. We're on the road to 2,000. With your help, we can get there. Reverend says, big up, Fozzy, big up, bro. I know you go on every Liverpool channel. Thanks for the support, man. We really, really appreciate that, and you're a top bloke, man. Michael Watson, hit that subscription button, be part of the family. We've got a big family at LFC, so let's make it bigger. All right, let's go back.
Something in between. So it's not one game, but I think the new manager stands for a specific style of play. If you did your research, you will then find out that he could have found out that he's. There's no coincidence that the Bournemouth board thought about him and brought him in. He did an exceptional job in his last club with a pretty. Did you use the word unconventional? Yeah, like way, if you want. I like to use in the past very often the word organized chaos, but he obviously likes not only the word, so is organizing the chaos as well. So it's a tough one. So they will go for it. That's how they did in the first game. Now they will go for it. They will press us properly, and on top of that, they have an offensive approach. Yeah, if you let them play, they will play. If not, they have an idea how to get in behind the line. That's the idea they have. It's not the most complicated football idea, but it's a good one. And yeah, but it's the first home game. Maybe we should not forget that. For since a long time, to be honest, when you start a preseason, a lot of things you don't need immediately because you need the time to work on it. But the first home game is not one of them. It's really the one thing you cannot wait for, and that's exactly how it is. We missed Anfield. Miss the atmosphere. As we know, there probably will ask about that as well. There are a few little problems, but there's still a wonderful stadium there, and all the rest will be sorted. And yeah, I'm pretty sure the people are excited as well and happy as well to see us again. And so let's use that as well. Yes, it's Premier League, and early in the season. There are no favorites for nothing. It's just you have to be ready. You have to fight. You have to run. You have to play. You have to shoot. You have to tackle all these kind of things, and that's what I want to see.
Can't hear you, mate.
with Bournemouth, last time we faced them, they beat us 1-0. It was a difficult game. Salah missed a penalty. Obviously, at their ground is a very small ground, tight ground. It's very difficult to play in there, especially when players are on you like this. So we're going to be at Anfield. You're going to be going to the game, of course. What are you expecting from this game? Is it going to be a high scoring game? Are we going to be dominant? Are we going to show a different side to our game compared to the Chelsea game? Are we going to keep the possession more? You know what I mean? Because if you look at the players we've got, it's all about possession basis, isn't it? So are these players going to be doing that? But before you answer that, there's 62 people watching us. Please hit that subscription button, notification button, like button, and help us with this channel. We're trying to achieve 2,000 straight away. That's how fast we're going. But go ahead, Harley.
I definitely think being at Anfield is an advantage. I definitely think rather than being at Bournemouth's ground, the Vitality Stadium, as it's called, that is an advantage because again the pitch size, the surface, the crowd as well. There's nothing quite like playing at Anfield. There's nothing quite like playing at Anfield, and everyone knows that. So I've just let that comment.
I like that one, John. That's brilliant.
That threw me off. That I thought he was.
Please subscribe, please subscribe, John. Much appreciated. Go on.
So yeah, that'll be helpful, and I certainly expect us to do whatever we can to get a result. I think we're all expecting 3 points, whether that's scrappy or whether we absolutely kick the shit out of them again. So I think that's the main thing, isn't it? To get 3 points in a good performance. I expect us to dominate possession. I expect us to create chances. Bournemouth they could very much give us a challenge. They'll sit back. They'll probably play for the point and try and hit us on the counter if they can.
100%, yeah.
So we can't underestimate them. They've actually spent 100 million.
Yeah.
In the transfer market, they've spread it out over several players, brought in some sort of squad additions. I didn't watch the game, but against West Ham, they managed to get a solid
1-1.
point.
Yeah. And West Ham's a good team. Don't forget, yeah.
And while if I was to make a prediction now, I'd probably still have them to go down. I still think it's important to not underestimate them. They've got a new manager, so things like that will help them. So it's things like that to keep in mind. They've had 2 different managers in the previous games as well. They've got Areola, I think is Areola, whatever it is. The fellow who he come from Real Valencia. So he's the manager now. In the game where they beat us, it was Gary O'Neill, and in the game where we beat them, it was Scott Parker. So they've gone through quite a few managers as well. So I imagine that will make a big difference in the games. So if I predicted this last night, but I think we'll score more in the second half than the first, because I think once we get one in, the floodgates will open a little bit then.
Yeah, we've just got to gel in the game, which in order for us to perform better. We're gonna start off slow, then we're gonna you go from the bottom, then you work your way up in the game, don't you? So that's how I see this game going. We need to get used to each other in the pitch, how we play, well, you know what I mean, and all that stuff. How do we do the movements while we're playing the game? So we've got a lot of stuff to work on, and I believe we're gonna smash them in this game, 100%. Michael Watson says Florentino, Luis, and a centre back, and I'll be happy. 100%, man. I think this kid is underrated, Luis. I'm telling you, I've watched him, and he looks pretty interesting. I don't know what you think of him. Do you know anything about him? He plays with Benfica.
Yeah, I've said in the past that I think there's pros and cons to him. I've said my preferred player is Doucouré. My thing with Luis is he just seems to be a little bit slow. But I will give him the credit that his intelligence does make up for that. Yeah. He reminds me of a Joel Matip, because at times I think he can look a little bit questionable in terms of his body positioning and his clunkiness on the ball. Yeah. But I would like to give him the benefit of the doubt and just say that we've seen again players like Matip who look like they've got no idea what they're doing, but are actually really good footballers. They're just unconventional in the style. Yeah. So personally, I think he'll end up at Nottingham Forest because that's where he's linked to. Yeah. And could he get a big move from there? Possibly. I personally think that Doucouré should be our main target.
I think he is. 100%. I think he is. I think he's the next one we're looking at. I think they're gonna have negotiations with Crystal Palace and get him through the door. I think because I looked at it from a point of view before Caicedo and Lavia, we was looking at him, but the price tag put us off was just 75 million. Crystal Palace put on him, but if with good negotiation skills, and if you get Mark Golden in or someone like that to go and negotiate with him, I think we'll get him through the door for
You've got to keep in mind.
50 million.
Got to keep in mind that at the time they expected Elise to be going. He
Oh
was,
yeah. Now
he was linked.
yeah.
He was linked with Man City, triggering his release clause for 35 million, and then Chelsea in recent times have. He's now signed a new deal, which, as far as I'm aware, there's no release clause in that deal, or if it is, it's an increased release clause. So if they can either keep hold of him, which seems most likely, or possibly sell him for a higher fee than 35, then they're less inclined to come and overcharge with Doucouré. They've brought in Jefferson Lerma on a free from Bournemouth, so he could possibly do the job there. I think he's probably Crystal Palace level, and if not, I've said this on Twitter. I think there's a lot of Crystal Palace level defensive midfielders on the market at the moment, but there's only a handful of Liverpool level defensive midfielders on the market.
And you think Doucouré is the one that's
I think Doucouré's the one. Within.
He's pacey, he's aggressive, and he can complement the likes of Soboslai and McAllister, in my opinion, and the back line as well.
Yeah, he likes to play forward, but he knows the time and the place. His vision's great. He wins the ball excellently. I can't speak highly enough of Cheick Doucouré. I think he's actually.
You've convinced me, bro. You've convinced me in the last couple of days. I'll take your word for it. Stubbsy, Statman Stubbs, please go and subscribe to Statman Stubbs. He's saying big up, mate. How's you? I'm good, bro. Just doing a stream, then I'm off to work as always. Congratulations on hitting over 1K, bro. It's all of you guys. You included, Stubbs. You know what I mean? You come on this channel and you contribute. It's you guys that put us there. When people tune in and they see your point of view and everybody else's point of view, it makes them come for more. So thank you very much for that, Mr. Stubbs. Please go and subscribe to him. This guy is one of the best YouTubers that I know, and he makes the people in the chat participate in his streams as well. So go and subscribe to him. I'm telling you, he does quizzes, he does watch-alongs, he does chat shows. He's endless what he does as well. So please go and help him out on his channel. Let's go back to the interview and see what he's saying. Then we'll pick out whatever we can, brother.
Is Mo back to his usual smiley self this week after when he was substituted the other day? He didn't seem too happy about coming off against Chelsea.
That's now a week ago, isn't it? So I would say he's back to he had a super training week. I think that's fair to say. Absolutely super training week, and I hope he can take that into the game. Besides that, nothing else to say. So I think this story was already directly after the game, and since then nothing else happened.
You've been in the position yourself when you come into a brand new club and it's a new culture, and I know that he's having to do that this time around. How difficult is it to get a handle on a new team and a new culture and set your stall out to get the players doing exactly what you want to do?
I have no idea, because I only can say how difficult it was for me, but that's nothing. That's me, with my limits and all these kind of things. So it took time for me, of course. I came in the middle of the season, which is completely different to coming in at the end of a season or for the start of a new season. That's different, obviously, and I don't expect any kind of necessary adjustments from between Bournemouth and the league or the manager and the league and stuff like this. They are now together for 5, 6, 7 weeks. I don't know exactly, and that's long enough, definitely long enough to get used to each other. And that's no advantage, no disadvantage. That's just a fact.
Mike?
Yeah, again, some good contributions last week from both of your debutants in midfield, Dominic Szoboszlai and Alexis McAllister. How do you think they, in particular, can benefit from your new signing, Endo, given he'll be able to play in a defensive role where Alexis had to fill in for the most part last week, and that it's not his best position?
It is in moments his best position. In moments, I mean, possession, that's it for sure, is cool for him. But let's go back to the start of your question, maybe. First and foremost, both help us a lot, and they did in that game. I think Dom was especially impressive physically, how he really, his work rate until the last second was immense. To be honest, I didn't expect that. It's the first game of the season, you know, the players feel that much more. The most important session in the whole preseason so far was the game against Chelsea, because of all the different things. And being there on that kind of intense level, like he was until the last second, is pretty special. And then you have on the other side of Maka with a really fine foot, finding small spaces, finding bigger spaces, being a real creator of whatever you want. That's really helpful, but with a really, really good defensive game as well. Our problems didn't come from the position of Maka or whatever, or that rather offensive-orientated players on the six, so nothing to do with it. We didn't play enough football. That was our problem. We got into a rush after the equalizer, and they scored a second.
Harley, so what do you think of Szoboszlai? You know, a lot of people are questioning the way he performs and all that stuff. I've said it. I've had my point of view forward with it. I think he needs to settle in first before you expect him to shoot from 30 yards and hit the top corner. That's what we're all expecting at the moment. And I like his athleticism. That's what he's working on first. He's doing his running, helping out Trent, going up and down, taking on players. That's what he's concentrating on first. But the rest of his game will come together as the season goes on. Before you answer that question, there's about 97 people actually, that was here. Please hit that subscription button, notification button, and like button, and help us out with that. I appreciate that. We're doing this on a regular basis, so if you want us to come on a regular basis, help us out and as much as you can. Yes, go on, Harley. Say your words.
I couldn't agree more. I'm very impressed by his work rate, his ability to track back. And that is why I would strongly consider playing him on the left side of the midfield tomorrow.
Why is that?
Because I feel like we're probably not going to be able to play Endo. And if Curtis Jones has picked up a knock as well, I think McAllister will be holding. So Szoboszlai on that left-hand side, his work rate and his ability to strap back, I think that really, really allows him to come back and help Robertson out, which I think could be quite important, particularly as Ryan Christie is very dangerous when he drifts onto the right wing and cuts in. I think that's something that needs to be considered. And also, it's the fact that if with the shooting range from the left side of the midfield, he can hit it with his right into the top right corner. He can open his body and just strike it better than he could from the right. I personally, considering the circumstances, would start Harvey Elliott on the right side of the midfield. That might not be a popular opinion, but that's what I'd go for. If there's no Jones, Thiago, Endo,
what are you going to put Salah then?
I'm putting Salah in as usual off the right, and I'm having Harvey Elliott hold the width as the right central midfielder.
Oh, okay, I get you now. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm having my midfield three. It's going to be Elliott, Szoboszlai, McAllister. That's what
even that Thiago is back in like full training.
We'll get on to that when you hear what Klopp says, because I've seen a clip of that. He'll mention Thiago. Thiago. But but yeah, that's what I would do, and I think he's going to be excellent for us. He reminds me a lot of Kevin De Bruyne. He really does remind me of Kevin De Bruyne in his play style, and that is possibly the biggest compliment you can give an attacker-minded midfielder.
Yeah, big up CJ. We need to go for Luis. The player we've been speaking about earlier. That's what they're saying. But, you know, like you said, he's a bit slow. So I worry about that. You know, me and slow players are not well together. Uncle Roz, please go and sign to Uncle Roz. He's one of our best, obviously, panels on this channel. And he's got his amazing channel as well. So go and please subscribe to Uncle Roz. He's a leader. So let's get back.
go pretty quick after each other, so that you could realize that we were not settled enough in the way we want to play. I think that's not too surprising, because it's just after preseason you always have that problem a little bit, but then if the game goes perfectly well in the right direction, it's good for that game. It's not that good for the game after, because then you think you solved it already, everything, and you have these problems a little bit later. So what we lacked in that game was rhythm, especially in possession. We had 35% possession, which is an absolute joke. It should not happen. So there's no game 100%. I can imagine it can happen against City on a special day, and if it's an idea to do it a little bit like that, to sit a bit deeper or whatever, it's not our idea for that game, but it happened just because we were with the ball too much in a rush. So, and in that game, the two did a really good job. That helped us. And now we have the problem. What we have in the moment a little bit is now, okay, Endo is now in, and he's allowed to train this afternoon. If he's allowed to participate in the game tomorrow, I don't know. We will see that. On top of that, Stefan Bajcetic really close, but not there yet. Obviously, we really count on him. Thiago Alcantara, same, slightly similar profile, obviously much more experience as well, is in, but not there yet. So we need just to give to them time. We cannot rush that. That ball will look completely different after the international break, but until then we have super important games. So we have solutions for our situation, just not available in the moment, and that's why we need to sort it in a slightly different way. And this is always an opportunity. You can always play it like that. It's away Chelsea, the perfect moment to do it. I'm not 100% sure, but anyway, it's a way you.
So with the injuries, obviously he said that Thiago's not ready yet and Basic's not ready yet. So I can see why you said about McAllister playing in that pivot role. The possession he talked about, Harley, I looked at it and I was surprised, like 35%, and pass accuracy 79, and then you look at Chelsea. 698 passes in the whole game to Liverpool's 377. Is it because the players are not gelling yet? And is this the reason that we're not passing as we should in that game? They're getting to know each other against Chelsea. This is why it's not ourselves. Chelsea don't out-possession any teams. We know that for a fact. We watch Chelsea for far too long for them to pass like that. Is it because of the new players gelling in and players playing out position? Is the reason why our pass possession was very low?
I think Klopp's come out and said this after the game. I've said it loads. One of our biggest issues in that game was that we were simply too direct. Again, whether that's a result of the players or the tactical instruction, we can only speculate on that.
Yeah.
Obviously played against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge under Pochettino. New manager bounced a lot of it. It isn't the most helpful thing. I also, not to try and make Gakpo a scapegoat or anything, but that midfield position is not his position. I thought he looked tired in the Chelsea game, and I just personally don't particularly want to see him play there.
What do you want him to play anyway? Like you say that a lot, but what do you want him to play? What position? In the wing or as a striker?
It's that false nine position. I think he's our Firmino replacement.
What does he bring in that position, brother? Like exactly.
He drops in. He drops deep. He links the play. His intelligence, his decision making, his vision. It's all there. He is very similar to Firmino. I don't think we could have replaced Firmino better.
Yeah.
I really, really do think that. And I don't mind playing. You know what? I don't mind playing Gakpo in the odd midfield, but he looked tired, and I think that was down to how little of the ball we had. He's a very direct player compared to most midfielders. Yeah, which is understandable. And we didn't have a proper defensive midfielder. We had three very attack-minded players in there. And again, that will kind of be the case if we have McAllister, Szoboszlai and Elliott. Yeah. But I just think Elliott's that little bit more naturalised. midfield.
I like the way he came on the other day, like the composure and the way
Yeah.
he was passing the ball about. It looks like he's finally, he's finally realized my position in the team is under threat, so I need to start performing as the manager wanted him to perform in the past. Like he was meant to be our Silva from Manchester City. That's what Klopp wanted him to be, but it just didn't work out. Like he's covering too much of the pitch.
Yeah.
And
He's only young, He could
and he's
still
only, 19, 20? Yeah. So
Yeah,
with
he's
time,
only-
he probably will become that player. He's very intelligent as a player. Let's be
Yeah.
honest here. Like, that's what people don't understand. He's very, very intelligent. He just didn't show that because his first thought when he's playing the game is like, I have to run up and down. When that takes over your mind, you forget the rest of your game, which is your technical ability. So that's what he needs to work on now. Now you got the players around you that can make you play the way you want to play. Now you can work on your technical ability and become that player that everybody expects you to be. Don't keep rushing things. Pass the right passes. It's like when Curtis Jones came back. What made him stand out? Passing the right passes. Composure. Not making silly decisions like try to use your body and you lose the battle. Just make your game easier and the manager will pick you every single time. Right or not, Harley?
That's very true. Elliott, he's obviously very young. He's maturing more and more, I think. I think he showed that against Chelsea. I think he showed flashes of it last season. I think a lot of people within this fan base are quite harsh on the lad.
Yeah.
He was kind of thrown in the deep end. And he swam, but he just about swam. He struggled at times, definitely.
Yeah.
And the whole team was a little bit off. So it's not his fault at all. I thought there were moments where he looked brilliant. Every single time he stepped onto that pitch, he ran his legs off. He worked his absolute hardest. I think he is a fantastic footballer technically as well.
Yeah.
So I think people need to cut the lad a bit of slack. He's only 20 years old. And that's it.
Nah, that's it.
I think.
Never mind about it. John Conway says, big up Fuzzy, big up Harley. Yes, John Conway, one of the best people on YouTube, guys. One of the best, man. He supports every Liverpool channel, and that's the most important thing. That's what I like about him. He's talking about Klopp, not you. So don't worry about that. He doesn't like Klopp.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
To be honest,
Please,
I'm probably more
yeah.
offended that I'm saying that about Klopp than me. So
Yeah, it's about Klopp. Please go and subscribe to K-Mac. Okay? He's on the way, I think, to 200. So please go and subscribe to his channel. He's more or less in every Liverpool channel that I know, and he's a great lad. Me and him disagree a lot, but he's a great lad. That's the most important thing in my opinion. Yes, let's get back.
In a lineup, in a setup, you can definitely play and win football games. And so, yes, everybody will benefit from a player whose first idea is to protect everything what we do offensively. He's involved in offensive stuff, but then has the heart, the desire, and enjoys that as well to clean up behind them. So, and of course that will be helpful, clear.
Chelsea and Bournemouth, different teams, different personnel, but one area of concern, I think last week, and you would have looked at the game, it is in wide areas defensively. You came under a lot of pressure down Liverpool's left in the first half, down Liverpool's right in the second half. What can you do to kind of alleviate that difficulty?
Keep the ball. It's the best way. Keep the ball is the best way. You always, with the quality in the Premier League, yes, I can. So there are always players who have there, whoever it is. But it's Chelsea, I'm not sure he would. This room together could now find out all the options they have with speed and technique on the wing, for example. So in a situation, it was the setup they found. Then a little bit later, they suffered with that a lot in the beginning. We could have scored a second goal. The high position of Chilwell, as an example, caused them real problems. Kobe found a way into the game, found a way to control more a bit better. But it's always it's like an up and down, and you use little weaknesses here and there. It's much too early to talk about a weakness on a wing or whatever. It's just there. You have to organize it in a specific way that the balls arrive there in a moment when you can, when you are prepared for it. And that is the case when you don't lose the ball in moments where nobody can react on it. You know, that's a counter-attack then. In the moment you lose, you give the ball away in a certain position, 5-6 players involved, bam, give it away. And that was the first two situations they had in the game, I think, were after these kind of moments. And it's where you then still have the most players is the center, probably. That's why teams choose going down the wing, especially when you have the speed there, and that's why you struggle there from time to time. But
do you think teams going down the wing is a big problem for Liverpool Football Club at the moment, Harley? Because, you know, majority of their chances come from the wing, as we know, Robertson or Trent side. So they do a long diagonal balls, and we struggle with it majority of the time. Do you think we need to step back a bit instead of like holding that high line so we could prevent the ball go over the top and giving us problems? Before you say anything, 174 people are watching. Please hit that subscription button, notification button, and like button. We're on the way to 2,000. With your help, we'll get there. This is a daily, you know, news round we do, me and Harley, and we do chat shows on the night as well. So please help us get there on the road to 2,000. Go ahead, Harley.
I think the most important thing is to keep the ball. I think the wing problem was really overemphasised by the fact that we were playing against Chelsea, who were playing a back three with two very, very, very high quality attacking wing backs in Chilwell and Reece James. Most weeks we aren't going to face that kind of utter bombardment. So I think that was a big factor in that. How advanced those two were. I really think that was a huge factor, and the quality of those two as well. So, and if we would have held onto the ball, we could have dealt with that much better. I understand why we keep the high line, because we have to press high. That's Jurgen Klopp style of football. Press high, catch them offside with the high line, play the ball back out high up, and just keep the ball with us in the opposition's half. That's what we do, and we try and break them down. And that's the style.
Do you think 100%? Do you think Trent playing inverted now that's been found out, because he's not impacting the game like he usually does when he's playing that inverted role?
I don't necessarily think so. No, I wasn't against Chelsea. I think he struggled with the same problem that a lot of our players struggle with, and that was simply that he was trying to be too direct.
Yeah.
And we weren't retaining the ball well enough as a unit. But I think that he can really have impact in these games. I really think he can have impact, and he showed that last season. And I think once we bring in these defensive midfielders that we all kind of want, one of them we've already signed, and when we possibly bring in an extra centre back as well, I think those problems will kind of be covered up. The weaknesses will be shielded. I think the pros outweigh the cons, personally, because I think Alexander-Arnold from the midfield, and at times when he can't be out there, Konate coming wide to come and win the ball, he's very effective at that. And at times anyway, as he plays as a normal right back, you're finding he's getting caught too high up anyway. And that's simply because with Alexander-Arnold, he is so good. You have to take that little bit of risk where you encourage him to get forward and impact the game, because that's the kind of player that he is. So I like this inverted stuff, and I think he's playing some of the best football he's played in a long time with it.
Do you think if the game is becoming tough for him in that role, he should just revert back to the right back position, and for that game, you know what I mean? Like if he's not making an impact in the game, that's what I'm saying. Something like that along those lines. Because sometimes I could see him struggling, and it's far too long. It becomes 50 minutes, 60 minutes. You know what I mean? And then we start to worry. Do you think like at those stages of the game, just go back to your right back position and try, whip the balls in from there instead of like coming inverted? The games he's struggling. The games he struggles in. I'm talking about.
It definitely depends on the circumstances. What I would say is I'd be looking for, in certain moments, a bit of a compromise between that. So I'd have him still look to invert in moments.
Yeah.
But ultimately, if we need a big part of his game to be covering the width of the right side of the fence, make sure that in a lot of moments he is kind of able to cover that, and he finds himself in positions on the pitch where if we were to lose the ball, he can get back more quickly in transition. So instead of being at the halfway line or beyond the halfway line, have him kind of stay on par with the defensive midfielder, so that and a little bit wider, and that will allow him to kind of to drop back in these moments. So
100%.
I think it's a compromise personally, and I think that's a balance has to be struck, and that can probably apply to all of our players really in terms of tactical instructions.
100%, 100%. Rossman says, one more DM. Yes, we need a young one. We need a younger person in that position that's going to be, you know, an not actually starting in the first team, but learning from Endo as well at the same time. If you know what I mean, guys, they could swap each other during certain games and keep the momentum going and the freshness going. If you know what I mean. So that's how I see it. If we get one more young defender, young defensive midfielder, but we're going to discuss one anyway. I could see one of the guys asking me that question. I'll come back to that. But let's get back to the press conference.
It's not yet any kind of general problem or what we start discussing again just because we had at one point in any other season a problem there. It's all about the best way to defend is always to keep the ball. And we should have done that better, and we did that much better in all. Worked a lot on it in our preseason games. That's really important. That is a challenge tomorrow as well, by the way, because they really press, they really go for it, and it's being there calm and doing the right things, the right stuff, knowing you can lose the ball here and there, and do it again. Finding rhythm and then finding direction is one of the questions we have to answer for tomorrow. Hi.
Kind of his football life always starts with really underestimated situation. You know, but like for example, he didn't play Roche at all, but now he's a captain of our country. Do you think he can do that with you as well?
I said he's in his career he's a late bloomer, definitely, and yes, he was definitely underestimated for a long time. That's clear, but he improved every year since he's on the proper football screen. It's really all that for a footballer. If you have your breakthrough with 23, 24, then the years before it's not wasted time or whatever. It's the preparation for all the rest of what is coming. And when he came to Europe, obviously, and even started Stuttgart, was not that easy. But then since he got the opportunity, he never gave it away and became the player he became. And now he has, I think, 50 games for Japan, and I don't know how many games for Stuttgart. So it's really it's important for me. When you see him now running around here, there's no chance that anybody would give him 30 years when you see him. Like, oh my God, is he allowed to drive a car? So, but on the pitch, obviously, he turns into a real monster. He wants to win balls. He wants to fight. You know, all these kind of things. Plus, he's able to play football. How is that? He was on my screen for a long time already, and now we for some reasons we were able to do it, and I'm personally really happy about it. I cannot say differently. I'm really happy, and now let's start working. So. This club has obviously a tradition, not a real tradition, but we had one of the biggest LFC legends of my time, at least, with James Milner. He arrived here when he was, I think, 29. Not that anybody ever underestimated probably Millie, but probably people said in that time, I'm not sure, I was not here when he arrived, he came before me. Really, he's not a fixed lineup player here, there, blah, 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 but can play different positions. And I can tell you, without James Milner, nothing of the success we had in last years would have happened. One of the best players and characters I ever met in my life. And so that's fantastic. And Mataro is in a different way, obviously, but can have
Do people know the impact James Milner has made at Liverpool Football Club, Harley, in regards to off the pitch as well as on the pitch? Like how he was taking care of the players off the pitch just to perform on the pitch and get that success afterwards as well. But before we say that, the wife is saying more signings by the end of the transfer window, I hope. Can Mr. Klopp please confirm? I hope so. I hope so. Please go and follow her on the social media. She's on Twitter, Instagram, and all the social medias we're at the moment. She's the one who actually posts on this, so please support her. But go ahead, Harley, go
on. I think James Milner is so underappreciated by so many people. I really do. It's a massive case of maybe he according to some, not to me, but according to some, he might have overstayed his welcome a little bit. He did stay on all the way up until he was 37, 36, something like that. So, but if you look in terms of the early Klopp days, he'd be playing left back, right back, holding midfielder, box to box midfielder. You'll probably play him in goal if you wanted to. He's that versatile.
Is that good? Yeah.
No, James Milner is, for me, undoubtedly a legend of Liverpool Football Club, and was so important on and off the pitch for the success that we had. His ability from the penalty spot, unparalleled. Like what sticks out to me was the season. I believe it was the season in which we were chasing the title. Correct me if I'm wrong, or it might have been actually the season where we got 97 points and just missed out. One of the seasons anyway. And Milner took a penalty against Leicester in the 90th minute. Nerves of absolute steel, never in doubt, scored it. And that sticks out to me.
Is it when he folded his hands like this? And everybody was like in awe of him. Yeah, that's the lead. That's the season. We won the league. We won the league that season. Yeah. That was, for me, that was such a key moment in terms of sustaining momentum and winning game after game after game after game after game. And his leadership, his ability, it goes unsung in my opinion. And I really hope that people don't forget how important he was for us. 100%. Abdul Kadir says, why is Klopp so involved in transfer market? ? Can suggest, but involved 100%. I don't think he's involved in recruiting players or anything like that, but he does make the decisions as well. You know what I mean? What kind of top manager get involved? It doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? This is the kind of things you do at PSG and teams like that. But every top manager does get involved in the transfers. And if it wasn't for Klopp, we wouldn't have Robertson, we wouldn't have Van Dijk, we wouldn't have Salah. You know what I mean? So he does make the final decisions, what players he's going to coach. And more or less, he doesn't get it wrong, does he, Harley? More or less.
I was just going to say, when people question how involved he is in the transfer market, my response to that is, what players has he really signed that have not been good enough in terms of quality? Now, you can make the argument for Naby Keita, you can make the argument for Oxlade-Chamberlain. They were both unbelievable when they were fit. And it's the fitness that cost them, not their own ability.
Exactly.
So I can't point towards a signing, a very big Klopp signing that has been made where you're thinking, well, that's shit, why has he done that?
And the ones that's been suggested, like Arthur and, players like that, and Kabak plus Davis, he hasn't played them. So you can see where that's come from.
And even if it's been Klopp's decision, you have to understand that sometimes he finds himself in a position where he just needs bodies. Arthur Melo, good player. I'll stick up for him as much as I can in terms of his ability, but he's always injured. I think Klopp knew he was taking a gamble, and if he would have been fit, he'd have probably played him a little bit more. So there was that. In terms of Davies and Kabak, at the time, people forget that Kabak was one of the brightest young centre-back prospects in Europe, and injuries damaged him. And with Ben Davies, it was another case of he just needed bodies through the door. He just needed bodies through the door.
100%.
Sometimes you find yourself in a position where if you can't get your main transfer target, which was Konate, who was both injured at the time, and I believe Leipzig were trying to charge over the odds, he found himself in a situation where he simply had to get bodies in. Obviously, in hindsight,
I don't blame him for the Konate one. I don't, because Leipzig did say you have to wait a season because they sold that guy to Bayern Munich, didn't they? The other defender.
Upamecano.
Yeah, they sold him to Bayern Munich. So if they lost 2 defenders in one transfer window, they'll be in trouble, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
So you got to think about it that way, people. But he should have bought a centre back in that season. I got to be real with you, because we was top of the league until January, and then that's when we fell off because all of our centre backs wasn't available, and we ended up playing Henderson and Fabinho at the back.
At the very least, mate, we should have been either signing or loaning Kabak in at the start of the season if possible.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So again, hindsight's brilliant, but I just don't think it's right to go into a season with only 3 senior centre halves.
And the worst part of it is this: the ones that you're going in with is the ones that always get injured. If you know what I mean, yeah. So Redbird says people are so reactive; they don't believe in giving the players a chance to settle in. 100% right, brother. They expect perfection first moment they set foot on the pitch. Hence why Harley said maybe it's a lot of people that don't play football. Maybe they haven't played in a level that understand football. You know what I mean? So everybody that play football in any level knows when you go to a new place, new club, it will take you time to be the quality, bring out the quality that you have. And that's what I keep telling people. You look at Soboslai. He hasn't showed any shooting from outside the box. He hasn't showed anything like set pieces wise, you know what I mean, and things like that. But that will come with time. And we are willing to give him time. So let's give Endo time as well to settle in and become that midfielder that we want him to be. Apparently he's a busy midfielder. He's hard working and he's very, very fit. I mean, 30 years old, it's not a bad age. But I expect another midfielder to come in that's in a younger route as well. So don't worry, people. I expect someone.
Me too.
So let's get back to before we go back, there's 124 people watching. Hit that like button. Ooh. Let's get this trending, people. Let's get this trending. Come on. You know what I mean? Like, this is free. We're not doing anything more for you. So please do that for us. Please do that for us. We're only asking, hit that like button and that is it. Nothing else. Let's go back.
Similar impact, and so I'm really happy that he's here.
His one-to-one starts in Germany phenomenal, isn't it?
Sorry?
His one-to-one starts in Germany was phenomenal. You know, he won the whole battle.
Yeah. So how I said, you have to learn the game. Wherever you start and whenever it clicks. It's just in football, we close books much too early. If a player is 18 years old and didn't have, I don't know, 10 Premier League games, and we say, will you really make it? And stuff like this. So that's the world we are living in. It's absolutely no problem, really no problem. My job is not really to explain or whatever. But our job is to make it happen on the pitch, and he will buy into that 100%. He's experienced enough. We will see how much time it will need to get used to what we do. But yeah, we need him. That's clear. And he wants to help from the beginning, and that's absolutely cool. I'm really happy that these kind of stories are still possible in this crazy world of football. To be honest, it really feels just right. It's right. It's like okay, yeah, that's a good thing. And now let's go from here.
Thank you. Any more for you? James, last one.
Jürgen, you said it had been a tricky week. Has it become harder this summer to attract players to Liverpool, do you think?
I'm not sure if that's something to do with Liverpool, to be honest. And it's not too harder to attract. No, not to attract. Everything is more difficult. Everything. So there are reasons, and you all know them. The problem is just whatever I say now about that. You probably wrote it already, these kind of stories or not. But what I would say now about it. But it's really difficult. There are a lot of things what are different this year or since last year as well already. Some clubs have just a different way to do it, and nobody understands 100% how it works. But somehow, so far, it works. And you have, as a normal club, it's really difficult to get with them. It's really like, wow, okay, well then, go for it. And you just watch it and what they are doing. That's fine. That's not my problem. I don't blame anybody. It's just how it is. The Saudi Arabia on top of that made things not easier. So we talk now about it, and our window ends in 31st of August, and then I think the window there is still open. So if a player's not happy or whatever, then they will come again or with even bigger offers. So I'm not sure 3 weeks ago anybody would have thought Neymar goes there, or 2 weeks ago or 1 week ago now he's there as well. Yes, it's much more difficult. Everybody is interested in the way. Not everything was perfect. It's perfect in this European football or wider football, the traditional where the big leagues are, stuff like this. And it's not written in stone that always everybody has to watch to the Premier League, or everybody has to watch the Bundesliga or La Liga or blah. So it's absolutely fine if there grows another league. That's how it is. It's still football. It's fine. We don't have the right to say that's not allowed. China tried it. USA maybe still trying. It's absolutely fine. It's no problem. But the endless money causes a problem. That's how it is. Because we just sit here and okay, what can we do now? And it would be cool if somebody could find just a solution, a little bit regulation. I don't know. No time to think about it. I have obviously other things to do. But yes, it became more difficult, but not to convince players to go to Liverpool. I don't think so. 100%. If I would have called, I don't know, 1 million players, they all would have come here immediately. It's just you have to make sure that you go for the right ones from our point of view. Then for our timing is different than other timings, because we cannot just spend and have a look later. That's how it is, and it's all fine. It's absolutely fine. I sit here and I'm really happy with the transfer window in this moment. So our transfer window in this moment. And I know what happened last week, and I know how football fans are, and I know that they would prefer to bring in a player who is 110 or 150 or whatever million, and that your club can do that. That's kind of nice. But in the end, the pitch has the same size. The player will not grow with the money he costs. It's rather the other way around. So, yeah, I'm really happy for the moment. We will keep watching. We will keep looking. We will try with all we have to make the best decisions for this club, and then we will not use money or anything else as an excuse for 1 second. We will just go for it with all we have, and that's the idea. But now it's a transfer window, obviously, and that's why we talk about it. But it's fine. It's how it is, and we do it our way, and we are here, and we are ready to fight.
That's our leader. I like that. Now he doesn't care about the money anymore. He wants to use it. He's right. The inflation is killing football, and no one is stopping it. And it's a frightening thing. Let's just be honest here. There's 125 people watching. Please hit that subscription button,
Incredible.
notification button, or like button, and we're going to discuss this further. We was already going to touch on to the Saudi Arabian league and the money that's coming into the game. So let's talk about the transfers. Actually, let's move on to the transfers. Let's move on to that. So, obviously, we already talked about him. It didn't cost a lot. This gentleman here.
Was that the end of the press conference?
Yeah, that was the end. We will talk about it anyways. That's why I have to put this guy there first. So, What do you think of Klopp's interview, brother? What did you take out of that?
I thought it was promising. I thought he spoke really, really highly of the player. He kind of repeated a lot of things that I've said about him. So that kind of, I feel like my opinion's a little bit more justified. So I'm happy with that. But that end comment there about how no excuses. If the right player's there, we will go for the player. And that to me, he couldn't have made it any more clear that we are. He said we're in the market without saying we're in the market. that's the closest thing you can do to saying we are in the market. Because if he says it explicitly, then again that can be used against him in the negotiations, or used against the club in negotiations. So I understand why he wasn't as on the nose with it. But to me, I thought he was pretty clear about what he was getting at.
100%, bro. 100%. And I really enjoyed that when he said, like, if you can't beat them, join them in it. Spend the money if you can. So that's what I'm looking forward to now, and very, very much want to see transfers coming through the door, because that's what we need, bro. That's what we need. We don't ask for much. And let me make it clear to you guys as well, like, who have a negative thought towards this manager. I've been through Kenny, the first stint, all the way to Klopp. So I've seen us in our good times. I've seen us in our bad times. You don't want to go through the bad times I went through. Believe me, it was horrendous. You need to avoid that. We took 30 years to get to Klopp. Yes, last season was a horrendous season. He went down the young route. It didn't work out. And he trusted those players that tried to get him the quad. It didn't work out. Now we're rebuilding. So let's rebuild with him and get back to the top that as we used to be before. That's what I want to say to you guys.
At the end of the day, this man is the main reason why we got to where we were in the first place. And he will get us back up there again. I've got no doubt about it. I just don't understand how people can't put a degree of trust in him. And as you said, now you're a little bit older than I am. So my earliest memories was Rafa Benitez as Liverpool manager.
Yes, sir.
And he was a good manager, don't get me wrong. But he had his flaws. His handling of the media. A lot of the time when people ask Klopp to call the owners out, Rafa Benitez called our last owners out, and that didn't go well for him.
Yeah, that was a problem.
So keep that in mind.
Yeah, you just got to be careful what you're saying. Yeah,
you've got to be careful what you wish for as well, because once Rafa was gone, then it was Roy Hodgson. And anyone who remembers that doesn't need me to tell them. And if you don't remember it, count yourself lucky. Count yourself very, very lucky. Exactly. Can he come back? He steered the ship. Brendan Rodgers, it was it and me. It's good times, bad times with him. And then this manager come in, and he is once in a lifetime. He is once in a generation. Yeah.
Think about it this way, Harley. You come in with nothing, you leave with something. That's how it is with Klopp. He came in with nothing, he left us 7 years of success. That's how if you count the trophies that way.
Even if he leaves us in the current situation we are in tomorrow, God forbid, touch wood, he's left us in a better position than where we were when he came in.
Yes, 100%, brother. Louis says Colombia and Miami, Florida bleed red. I believe that. I'll be there one day, though. I'm coming down. Don't worry about that. I'll go to America all the time.
I'd love to go to Miami.
Yeah. What's the clickbait? I don't know. Yeah,
what's clickbait?
I don't know, mate. I have no idea. I think the people that's looking for clickbaits, it ain't us, because we're actually being nice, if you know what I mean. So, yeah. This is the question to you, mate, from Yasin. He says, is Gravenberch any good? You study football, so you look at players, you analyse players. Is he any good?
I like the player. I just don't necessarily know if he's exactly what Liverpool should be prioritising right now. I think we should be prioritising in terms of midfielders now, a specialist defensive midfielder. To a degree, we've picked one up, but I think there's a great argument to be made that we should probably be bringing in one that's more so going to be a longer term fixture in the team.
Yeah.
Would I take him? Particularly for the right price? Yeah, I would. He can cover defensive midfield.
Yeah.
He's powerful. He's very technical. He's young, so we wouldn't need to register him. He wouldn't be homegrown.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't take up a non-homegrown spot until next season. So there's so many pros around Gravenberch. Yeah. But I personally think there's other players we have to prioritise. But if we were to bring him in, you wouldn't hear any complaints from me.
Wild Dead Wolf says, big up, guys. He came on yesterday and he really enjoyed our stream. And he actually gave us compliments. Much appreciated, man. Thank you very much for coming back on as well. We try to bring the best in it. That's what it's a daily basis thing. We try to bring the best. And you get Liverpool fans from the 80s in here. You get Liverpool fans from the 90s, noughties, and the current fans as well. So you got best of like most of the the decades. So it's all good, mate. Thank you for your compliments yesterday as well. We appreciate that. Honestly, we appreciate that. He's a Scouser as well, bro, like you.
Yeah.
Yeah. He says us Scousers. I remember that comment he put the other day. Yeah, nobody likes you guys. Gravenberch is good. Just needs a Klopp arm around him. Yeah, an arm around the shoulder from Klopp, makes players walk through walls. Ain't that right, Harley?
It's 100% the case. If anyone can if Jurgen Klopp can't make you a good player, forget about it.
Forget about it. Musa says, what about centre back? Are we looking at anyone that you know of, Harley?
From what I'm hearing from journalists and certain ITK accounts, which should always be taken with a pinch of salt, of course. We want someone in that position, but we aren't targeting anyone specific just yet. I've heard links to Arthur Theate from Rennes, a young Belgian lad, who a lot of people on social media quite like. I've only seen a limited amount of him, I won't lie. But he's the right profile. And that's, to me, the important thing is the right profile and that the manager likes him. And if he fits both of them bills, then he can have it all.
I'm telling you. I just regret we didn't get Botman. I mean, when we had the chance that season, we was missing the defenders. We was linked with him. And I remember Font saying, I'm losing another defender to the Premier League, so I'm assuming it's us, if you know what I mean. Gutted, man, gutted. I look at him at Newcastle, I get jealous every single time I watch him, bro. Oh, yeah. Botman is just what we needed, man. I just call him King, the Irish King. Are we signing Doucouré? That's to you, mate.
So.
Is there anything close? As we can see, obviously, Dave OC Cop says, expect Liverpool to make a big push for Cheick Doucouré before the window closes. I think we're gonna get him early. I don't think we're gonna wait another week. I know it's a week and a half left. If we're looking at a player right now, I think it's more Doucouré than anyone else, guys. I honestly think that, because we was linked with him before actually Caicedo and Lavia, and the price, like I said in the beginning, was inflated to 75 million. But with good negotiations, I think we could reduce that to 50 million and get him through the door. And Harley already spoke about him. He said he's what he wants. And he spoke about him in a lengthily about how good he is and what he can offer in that midfield, right, Harley?
Yeah, 100%. I'm a massive fan of Cheick Doucouré, and I think he is the best option on the market for us in terms of both his ability, his age, and the probably realism of getting him in the door as well. Because I think we can all sit there and go, well, Tchouaméni's the best defensive midfielder in the world, or one of, let's go and get him in. Yeah. But ultimately, in terms of realism and in terms of a player that we can mould to the highest level, who we can realistically pick up, it's Cheick Doucouré for me. I can't speak highly enough of him, and I'm surprised that no one else is in for him as far as we know. But again, touch wood on that. I don't want Chelsea to fucking turn up and go, well, yeah, it is 100 million. No one top bowley would probably do that.
They're so dumb. They're so dumb, bro. They're so dumb, it's unreal. Like, there's no structure in place. There's no thinking behind the transfers. You're just buying because other teams go and buy them. Where's the scouts? Where is the player fit in the system? Where is things like that in your team? Hence why they always struggle every single season. They finished 12th last season, people. What difference is it going to make if they buy Caicedo and Lavia? I mean, they're not going to score goals. The issue is the team as a whole, and they're not even connecting.
They still need a number 9.
Yeah, that's what they need. That's what they need.
Even put midfield, but
it's boring, man. It's boring watching them bullying people as well. Go and fix that stadium. Man, I hate when Sky Sports goes above the stadium and shows that rust around the top, man. It's disgusting, man. That's what you need to fix. Fix. Like, the stadium is the most important thing in a football team, and they're not even making an attempt to fix that as well. You're just spending money for the money, spending sake. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. Redbird says, Fozzie Endo said he liked Gerrard and often watched him because he liked the way he played. Who doesn't like Gerrard, bro? Who doesn't like Gerrard? Every player that talks up in the modern game, they always go back to Gerrard. I don't hear Scholes. I don't hear Lampard. I don't hear any players like that. It's always Gerrard that comes. Even Bellingham, Gerrard. There you go. So it shows, man. That guy had a lot of influence. Eric says Glazers in. So do we all, man. No Qatar going that way. I hope. Look,
Green
man.
and gold till United fall.
I hope so. People, if you're watching, there's 113 people here. Hit that subscription button, notification button, and like button. We're only going to be here for a couple of minutes more. I've got to go to work, and I want to talk about these two players. We was looking with them before the transfer opened heavily, and Kone is back fit again. What do you think about these two? Would we be interested in again?
I definitely think we've got one eye on them.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely think we've got an eye on them.
Yeah.
But my kind of thoughts are that I don't think either of them are a specialist number 6.
Mm-hmm.
They can be moulded into that possibly, particularly Kone. But I see them as, especially Thuram, as a box-to-box number 8 kind of player. That's what I see both of these players as. And again, like Gravenberch, they can add a lot of quality and depth to the midfield. But if you're giving me the option right now of Kone and Thuram or Doucouré, given our circumstances, I'm taking Doucouré on his own, I think. And that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Again, I think these two players can play defensive midfield, and that they'd be helpful. But I just believe ideally we need a specialist in that position at the moment. But I do really like the two players. I think the dribbling ability is absolutely top tier. I think the press resistance is fantastic. I speak very highly of both players. And at the start of the window, I really thought we'd be getting at least one in, if not both. Things have turned out a little bit differently in terms of we ended up with McAllister and Szoboszlai.
Yeah.
But if we want to add these guys for depth, I have no problem whatsoever with it.
100%, bro. Bernard says yes. Smash the likes. People help the channel. Thank you very much, Bernard. Honestly, thank you very much. It helps a lot when people say that, and we appreciate that immensely. John, he's been with me since the beginning in 2019, guys. You know, John Conway, and he's been with every Liverpool channel. Special mention to him, man. We owe him something, all of us, I think. Every Liverpool channel owes that guy something, man, because he shares our channels around as well, which I don't think I deserve or you deserve, but he does it all the time, man. His time, he gives us time. Let's go back. GG says if we get Doucouré and decent centre back, we'll win the league. I'm just having this feeling. What do you think of that? You as well? I think you said something along those lines, didn't you?
Yeah, I actually think that it will be, even if we just get Doucouré in, that would be enough. I'd like a centre back on top of it, but I seriously think we are an elite defensive midfielder away from challenging for the league and winning the league. Whether Endo will be able to do that remains to be seen. I think at the very least he's a valuable squad player.
Yeah.
But I think we should just be adding 1 or 2 more players, because that's all I think we need to really be at the level where we can go on an unbelievable run again.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna end it here, people. There's one more thing we want to talk about is normally at the end of the show, which is the Saudi Arabia League, but we're gonna save it for another time. We get a panel on the show, and we start talking about it. I think that deserves a panel, that kind of thing, because the money at the moment, people, is ruining the league. But let's get to this guy. What impact has he made as a footballer, especially the potential he had before he went to Arsenal? Has he fulfilled it, or has he failed? Or is it in between for you? Theo Walcott has retired, people. I remember England taking him one of the World Cups, age of 17, because they thought he's going to be the next big thing. And, what happened next? Harley, what do you think of him, bro, as a player?
I definitely think there was a lot of untapped potential there. I do. I think injuries haven't helped his case. I think as he started to age and slow down a little bit as well, his killer thing was his pace, his speed, and he lost that a little bit. Yeah. Look, at his early days in Arsenal, I was looking and thinking he could be a top tier winger. It didn't quite work out for him. But yeah, to see him retire, you do have to probably say it's been a bit of an underwhelming career, given the ceiling that people said he had. But I also feel it's harsh to say he's failed. He's cut out a very, very solid Premier League career.
Yeah,
he's made so many appearances for Arsenal. So fair play to him, as I say. It's harsh to say he's failed, but to say he succeeded, his potential would be. I don't think that's the truth. I think he could have, with different circumstances, hit bigger heights.
Yeah, Luis says Bournemouth will play a defensive game, trying to get us on the counter. Our defense needs to be on point. I don't think in the last game, Luis, the defense was that bad. It's just that goal was awful. And us keeping possession was a big issue if you think about it. If we kept the ball like better, I don't think we'll lose that game. We'll draw that game. I think we would have won that game. And next game, I'm expecting us to improve from the previous game. So it starts from here. You work your way up eventually. That's how I see it going, mate. So don't worry about it. I think we're going to win this game as well. We already gave the score prediction in the last stream. So go back to the last stream and then you'll see what we said. CD said Milner had highest assist 11 in Champions League the year we won it. Thiago 3 since he has arrived. I know it's hard. It's hard.
That 2017-2018 Champions League campaign, he was ridiculous. That season in general, and the season before as well, he was ridiculous. Again,
but you need that type of players, don't you, that can play all around the pitch. Wherever you put. People forget Milner actually started as a striker for Leeds, and I was watching that game when he started as a striker. So he can play as a striker as well. Go on, Harley. Sorry, bro.
I'm just saying that I think what goes under the radar with him a little bit as well is because of how important he was in the first few years of Klopp, where we weren't necessarily as successful as we were in the years that followed.
Yeah,
people understate how important he was in the kind of first few years of the Klopp era in terms of building what we had. And even in that season where we got to the Champions League final, to break the assist record is an unbelievable achievement, and one that, in my opinion, is not talked about enough. Darren O'Connor is 100% right there, by the way. 100%.
100%. Darren, mate, I wouldn't put it any better, mate. Like I have my moments of like being disappointed because of like I keep reminiscing the old days in the 90s and the Roy Evans and Graham Souness. But you know, it takes me a few hours later, I calm down and I realize I need to support my team and I need to get behind them. I love this team more than anything. And when we're down, we need to bring ourselves back up. And as a fan base, as a club, that's what we've got to do. If you know what I mean, guys. So yeah, Darren, all we can do right now is get behind the team and the boys in the red. 100%, bro. 100%. Harley, is there anything you want to say? If I didn't get to your chat, please come on the next show, which is tomorrow. We're gonna do the live stream, the watch along. There's gonna be me, Nura Beats, and 12th Man. We're gonna do the live stream. So please come on and support us in that as well. Please subscribe to Ensman TV. This guy, I've never seen a person wake up early in the morning and 1 in the afternoon and 1 in the evening. He's amazing, man. Seriously, if you talk about someone that works hard, this is your guy. And you need to go and subscribe to him. You'll see him every single time. He has great opinions. He'll give you positive, in the middle, and negative. That's what you need from someone that's actually doing streams. You don't want to keep hearing one side because it's boring. I'd rather hear all three. And this man gives it to you. I'll put everyone up before I go, as I always do. Yes. Anything you want to say, Harley, before we go? I'm sorry if I didn't get to your messages. I'm really sorry. I'll do it. Listen, when I've got the panel, it's easier for me to look at the messages because, you know, they're here talking and I could look at the messages as well and put it up, if you know what I mean. But I apologize. But let me go on, Harley, as you go along, bro.
As I'm saying, I just can't wait now to be able to get behind the team, and I can't wait to be there tomorrow. I'm fortunate enough to be going to the game, and I'm just looking forward to being able to watch Liverpool and hopefully pick up our first win of the season as well, which I think we will. So I'm just absolutely buzzing for that, to be honest, and I'm buzzing for the coming season. And I'm very excited to see what we do in the last couple of weeks of the window as well. Overall, I do believe it's an exciting time to be a Liverpool fan. I really, really do, and I think it's a great time to be. And a lot of people might not realise that yet, but I'm hoping in the next 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 12 months, people will realise it.
100%.
And hopefully we win some silverware this season as well.
100%, bro. Pure Life says, who's your new signing by now? We just got Endo, that's just come through the door. Obviously, McAllister and Soboslai. That's 3 signings so far. So we're still looking for 2 more. Another defensive midfielder and a defender that can cover right back and centre back. So if we could get 2 in 1, then you got the players you want. You know what I mean? So that's the best thing about it. Trudon says Palace will want 70 million. I don't know, mate. It's just all about negotiations, bro. It's all about negotiations.
People might laugh at me, but I paid that.
Yeah? Is that how good it is to you?
If push came to shove and it was approaching deadline day, I'd probably pay that.
Yes, it says Doucouré is staying. Oh, okay. If you think so, no problem. All right, Harley, where can people find you, brother? Explain away, and we have to get out of it because I got to go to work. I work, people. I work for a living. So, Harley, where can people find you, brother?
I'll keep this as short and simple as I can. Feel free to come follow me on Twitter if you've never seen me before or you don't follow me on there. There we are. Has LFC 97 on Twitter. Feel more than free to come in and follow me. But if there's one thing you do, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like notifications on, all of that good stuff, and keep your eye out because it's not just me, it's not just Fozzie, who is an absolute legend, by the way. It's so many different, very informed, intelligent, and generally entertaining people. A lot of their names have been mentioned throughout the stream, so yeah, make sure you give the support to us and subscribe to the channel, and check out some of the other great content creators as well. I won't waffle on for too long because Fozzie's got to get out of here, hasn't he? But yeah, thank you all very much for watching, and I appreciate it, and I'm very, very humbled and grateful.
Thank you, boy. Thank you. All right, people. The next thing I've got to put up is obviously the game. That's tomorrow. There you go. We're doing a watch along. We're back on the watch alongs. This time I'm not alone. I'm going to have different opinions with me, which is Nura Beats and 12th Man. Their channels on here. Please go and subscribe to them. 12th Man just reached 100. Congratulations. You know what I mean? That's what we're all about on this channel. We support all Liverpool channels. That's what we're supposed to be saying, isn't it? You never walk alone, right? So
100%.
There you go, man.
Especially someone who's actually a big part of this channel as well.
Yeah.
He is
12th Man. That's for you, bro. That's for you, 12th Man. There you go, fireworks. He deserves
it and so much more. I can't speak highly enough of 12th Man. Again, Uncle Rod, who was on last night, another amazing guy, amazing content creator, no beats analysis. Go and check him out. Ends, man. JB Phillips, Quasi, Klopp Talk TV, another one as well. Alad, someone who I've met personally, great guy.
And you're gonna be doing some stuff on this channel as well, by the way.
Yeah, I am. So make sure if you want to see me on there, I'll be doing some stuff with Uncle Rod soon, I imagine. So if you want to see me, subscribe to those channels as well, because I will be making the occasional appearance on there as well, which I'm very, very much looking forward to. So yeah, thanks everyone for all that. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Harley. Yes, people, as you can see on the screen, I always put it up. Please go and subscribe to everyone. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll be back very soon. Tomorrow, the live watch along. We're gonna have a preview. We're gonna do a halftime, and we're gonna do match reaction after that. So tune in around, I say 1:30, probably something like that.
Yeah,
we're gonna be around
before kickoff. Yeah,
before kickoff. Yeah. So I'll see you, people. I'll see you soon. Take care, everybody, and thank you. Don't make sure you hit that subscription button though, and the notification as well, and the like as well. Take care, everybody. Take care. You won't get any channel like this anywhere. You Never Walk
Sure.
Alone channel. We help everyone and everybody helps us. That's what it's all about.